Like I just said, fuck all.
So you gotta wait 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we drowned out.
Spooky theme show. Spooky theme, spooky show. Spooky theme, spooky show. Says we're offline on Rumble. Spooky, spooky theme show. Spooky theme, spooky show. Spooky spook. Spooky theme. Spooky show. Spooky spook.
Right, I've set up the stream. Oh, hold on. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh,
you
I can hear you.
It's all right. The theme tune.
I can hear
The theme tune finished while I was doing something else, and it spooked me. Welcome to another 14 Words. We are live.
Oh yes, and wow, we did this bit before, and I don't feel like doing it again. So just
Ian
yeah.
Fisted his anus.
Oh, the fisting guys mostly stay in that corner, yeah. But I meant about the we're live. Don't say fuck or bugger.
Don't say fuck, bugger, or Ian's being fisted in the hospital.
Yeah, well, you know that's part and parcel of the modern NHS service. So
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about constipation ever again.
Should we talk about Mariana Spring for a sec? We haven't spoken about Mariana Spring.
Oh yes, it's everyone's internet darling, Mariana Spring. What's she been up to lately? She's been working hard for BBC Verify, hasn't she?
She's received 11,771 abusive messages and death threats.
11,170.
Hang on, just a second.
11,771 abusive messages.
I hope you die in a car crash.
72.
You cunts. Yeah, that number's just gone up. Send.
Mariana, has she set the record straight on the faked CV that she put into Moscow?
That is literal Russian deep space info.
Deep
Space.
It's deep space.
Well, yeah, it's so deep space. It doesn't exist.
It's
anymore.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's deep.
It's not real anymore.
It's as real as.
It crashed and burned with the Mir space station.
Those job things were real in her mind.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know you're streaming on the 14 Words chat?
Yeah.
I
I've been doing it for like 3 weeks.
Oh, guys, those of you that are on YouTube, did you know there's a Telegram chat? It's t.me/14 Words. And if you go, oh my God, there's a horrible. No, okay, don't go there tonight. I'll post some stuff to get rid of it. But there's.
Have you seen that fucking demon woman crawling along the ground that I put in there?
I really wish I hadn't seen it.
Is that why he's not recommending the channel?
I like the question. What causes this behaviour? Simple, demons. There you go. Simple.
Fucking
is that the one behind the thing?
Yeah.
Just for the audience at home who are listening on their wireless.
Oh, man.
On their crystal.
Yeah. Picture. Well, you know, the funny thing is, like the modern stuff
either
has
say
crystals.
it's been around a place lately, or that is a demonic possession. Yeah.
I just want to say, if you want a visage of this woman and you don't want to look at it because it is graphic detail, imagine that scene in Total Recall where, like, the CEO of Mars, he's rolling around in a Martian.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger can't breathe on Mars, and their eyes are popping
It's
out.
the bit, the eyes are on stalks. They've bulged out that much from a fucking face. It's horrible. It's literally there's a demon behind her eyes trying to push them out.
Yeah,
that's why
her eyes look like electric as well, don't they? Like the bolts of electric coming out of them.
It's almost as if like demons run amongst us. And sorry, someone posted the image, you know, showing predators and then prey species and how like these new humans which are put in films, they look like hammerhead sharks.
Mm.
But that one that they did, the Littlest Mermaid, she's a shark now. Hammerhead shark.
They're becoming omnivores, aren't they? They're becoming prey animals.
Well, we were omnivores before, but before we had good binocular vision, now we have good peripheral vision.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what have we been up to since well, I tell you what, the thing is, we did the Woes a bit, but the fact before we did Woes, there was, we sort of touched on the topic of this before when talking about God's Banker. I knew I'd still get a use out of that.
I loved it when Fraser came in, didn't know anything about it, and he kept hearing the Hallelujah music.
It's like, what's going on? So the thing is,
Dom said he's seen her Mariana Trench.
Oof.
More like Mariana Stench.
Mariana Spring, would you?
Do you think that's what the 11,000 complaints were just people looking for the Mariana Trench and
do you think it's like
making a complaint when they found that woman? Yeah,
Is she like one of these Guardian journalists where publicly she's all talking about this
BBC journalist?
I know, but what I mean to say is publicly she's talking about how evil and toxic men are. But then she's just looking for the most sort of right-wing men to do up the tradesman entrance while she's saying, "Oh, tell me how the Earth is flat again." It's shut up! I'm pure blood. I don't talk to you. That's why I wrote con. Yeah.
Just remember that she is BBC's disinformation and social media correspondent. Radio 4 podcast investigations on paranormal. Panorama are having on there
and she takes it up the shitter because she's right dirty.
A swivel-eyed conspiracy theorist. But
look,
Sargon went to Southampton twice. He did. I know he did.
If you want to make her wet, just whisper into her ear, "Space ain't real.
Yeah,
the Earth is flat and stationary."
Have you heard she's got a new series out that's called "Why Do You Hate Me?"
Oh God!
Because you lie about Sargon. That's what people hate.
No, you see, the thing is, when people make shows for the BBC, they come up with things, and then the television executives say, "You're not having that title on our show." The original title of it was going to be My Bottom, but then they said, "No, you can't." No, sorry, that's when Rick Mail came up with the idea for Bottom. No, the original thing she says is, "Why do you hate fuck me?" But then on the BBC says, "We're not going to have that as the title for
the increasing." They were like, "Look, we've already got a bad rep with Jimmy Savile. We can't have that love."
The increasingly desperate sexual adventures of Mariana Spring.
Sadiq Khan says this is one of the things on her Twitter feed. Sadiq Khan says fake audio of him nearly led to serious disorder. There could have been serious disorder in London. There would have been stabbings, rapings, murderings. Oh no,
acid attacks.
Wait, no.
Oh no, wait, that happens every week in London.
American candy stores doing money laundering. All of that could happen.
Stores, Hobbit, and then
we'll do. But just gonna say as a brief aside, the bit that Sadiq Khan's annoyed about is that deepfake AI is doing. He's not annoyed about the fact that the deepfake AI is using his voice to say things like, "I lied about what troops in Iraq were doing, and then they got attacked and killed by Iraqis. I'm Sadiq Khan, and I like it when British soldiers die." He didn't disavow any of that because he agrees with that. He's really angry that someone would use his voice, his likeness, without his permission.
Yeah.
So anyway, American candy stores, have they got you know what, I need to get an image of this.
American stores, how do they work?
Candy. And why do they exist, and why have they popped up, and why is it that when you go into Oxford, which is not the world's largest city...
Well, I used to go to a place in Birmingham that was an American candy store, and that went bust. So why are American candy stores now making tons of money when they never used to?
So, here we go. We got an example of it here, and we'll use this Alamy stock image because that's the one we're allowed to use. It's that sign of quality when it's got an Alamy watermark on it. So these things, they pop up all around cities across the UK, where I'm told rents for these shops are quite expensive because, well, you're on prime real estate, as the Americans would say. And if you've ever been inside them, they're all staffed by subcontinentals, and they are stocking bits of American sweets and charging vastly inflated prices. Well, I was just trying to think of an example, like £9 for a pack of cereal, but due to the cost of living crisis, I think you can actually pay. I think
kosher pickles are reasonably priced, though, Hobbit.
Oh yes, they're a very good deal on kosher pickles.
Where did you send me in general?
Yeah.
Which one do you want, American Candyland or House of Candy?
Well, just any of these, really. I mean, I got it. Yeah, because it's sort of more representative, I think. I wanted to say that, it's £9 for a box of cereal, but I think I saw a box of Weetabix was £5 the other day, and I thought, bloody hell, it's just Weetabix. I mean, I would expect to pay £5 for a box of Ferrero Rocher, but not bloody cereal. But anyway, you get these things. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but other people have, and that's why there's been investigations into it. So I told my dad about this, and any time I could literally say to my dad, "Dad, did you know water is wet?" And then he'll be like, "No, I don't believe you." But then he'll look and find, "Oh, this investigation by the BBC proves that water is wet. Did you know that, son?" It's like, "Oh, really, Dad? No, that's news to me." I told him about this, and then he says, "Oh, son, I found out that there's these American candy shops, and what they're doing is they're laundering drug money. So you see these people which are illegal immigrants, they come into the country."
So the normies are aware of this now, then.
Yeah, because even the BBC did a documentary, and they say they're staffed by illegal immigrants.
Isn't that racist?
Yes, but also it's true.
Well, I don't know. So, we don't hold for racism on this programme.
Oh, well, no, I disavow the racism of the BBC saying that illegal immigrants staff these shops.
And that any link to organised crime.
And before they reach a certain threshold...
Dom says you can now get your car washed while you get your nails done, while you get a Turkish haircut, while you buy your American candy.
Yeah, there's all these great services which define us...
Which tend to
which define us in the 21st century. They're all these great businesses. Now, I'm told once they reach a certain money threshold, I said it was under £100,000, but Emma, you said it was something else. But they reach a certain threshold of money, and then they fold the company.
I think you're talking about VAT when you're talking about the threshold.
Yeah. But either way, in order to avoid investigation, they fold the company before it reaches the investigation threshold.
The VAT are vicious. The VAT don't fuck it. They're not like the revenue where they 85,000 now. So registration theft. So if your total taxable turnover is more than 85,000, you have to register for VAT. Bringing goods into Northern Ireland from the EU, you need to pay. You need to register for VAT.
Ian says I'm breaking up. I'm hoping others in the chat will corroborate with that.
Just you. You sound all right to me.
I sound all right to me too, but then again, I can hear me with my own ears.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing like the broadcast. So.
Do you want me to give Mariana a quick tweet, see if I can get her to have a watch to tell her what your audio's like? See if she what your audio's like.
See if she can fact check the statements I'm about to say about American candy shops.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now they reach the threshold. They fold the company, and then Arsdeep's cousin Arslick sets up a shop called I Can't Believe It's Not House of Candy, and then they carry on the same as before. And then next week,
my cousin brother bought it. It's different company now.
Yeah, and then once that sort of reaches its threshold, then one of Arsdeep's other 20 cousins sets up shop, and he runs it, and then it's called Candy House, and then next week it's called House of Candy 2, Electric Candy Loo. So now you'd be saying, but Hobbit, you're just talking about your particular disdain
what about
for
the
how
Turkish barbers where they all own brand new Audis? I mean, I knew it was good. I knew it was good business cutting hair, but I didn't know it was that good business cutting hair, especially when the shops are they're right next to each other and they're empty.
I tell you what, they've mastered the value of high value sales with low turnover because there's hardly anybody getting their hair cut in those places. Most of the time they just sat in the chair scrolling on their phone, and they seem to be doing very good business. Certainly enough to keep the lights on day in day out. Now, you should be saying, Hobbit, why are you complaining about this? Surely this is just your grievance of how the high street has turned into little more than just a...
You're just a racist.
Yeah, my resentment against how the high street is being turned into a...
I mean, if you were to just pull your bootstraps like they were and start yourself up as a Turkish barber, you'd have a brand new Audi as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, there's obviously, it seems that we can support an infinite number of chicken shops, Turkish barbers, American Candyland places. So why don't we all just set one up? Because there seems to be great money in it. And we can all drive Audi TTs, or is it what's the cars drug dealers drive these days?
I think is it R8? Is it?
I remember 20 years ago, I was in Oxford opposite the Ashmoleum, and my mate pointed out, he says, I bet that guy's a drug dealer. It's like, is that a Nissan Skyline? He says, yeah. And it goes bust, and it was a nice car. I don't see many of them on the road anymore. No, yes, all these criticisms from this hypothetical strawman would be saying that, Hobbit, you don't like how the high street's being turned into a front for organised crime as the country gets further dilapidated and we become increasingly ostracised and shut-in hermits that do all our shopping online and don't talk to people anymore.
Dom said he always makes sure he buys his drugs from British nationals.
Yeah, I mean, you support your local business, keep the money in the local community, which is why
buy it with a Brixton pound if you can.
Yeah. Well, it's why I've recently started buying my milk from a local dairy rather than going to the supermarket. And it's not homogenised, so there's that, but unfortunately it is pasteurised. Which is, by the way, why milk is the fastest thing in the universe, because it's pasteurised before you see it. So, is there anybody saying... what if I type in American... candy stores, money laundering. Welcome back. You're just in time for this. Oxford Street, the investigation. 30. What's this? This is from the BBC. So this is the most racist organisation in the world, one that hosts the BBC Pigeon section, where they make fun of the way blacks talk. Oxford Street, tax investigation into US-themed sweet shops. 30 US-themed sweet shops on London's Oxford Street are being investigated for allegedly failing to... How long is Oxford Street? Do we really need 30 American candy shops on it? It's just
25 maybe.
It's like... Do you think Arsedeep and his 25 other cousins are going like, you know what, if we set up 30 of these shops, no one will take a blind bit of notice. How suddenly
we'll make them all colourful and, no one will know.
Dude, we just need one more, dude. Just one more, dude.
It's like 6 years ago, never was seen in any part of the country. Suddenly, like 30 of them on Oxford Street. Westminster City Council said it seized about £474,000 of counterfeit and illegal goods from American candy and souvenir stores in the past. Including unsafe vapes.
What? And they're putting like Yank stickers on British packaging. What's a counterfeit fucking foreign good?
I mean, isn't the fact that the food from America is counterfeit food anyway? How do you counterfeit food?
It tastes like real food. Is that why they said this?
Councillor, this is Westminster City Councillor Adam Hugg, Mr. Hugg. Could you come here, Hug,
Is
darling?
he a hugger, is he? Do you reckon he's a hugger?
Councillor Adam Hug said, I've hugged a hoodie today. They were a threat to the status of Oxford Street. A spokesperson added, very few of the shops were serving sufficient customers to be commercially viable.
Well, no shit, there's 30 of them.
Well, why were you saying, like, very few? Are you suggesting that any of them had enough, like, to be commercially viable? I mean, all you got to go... I know these people in the government are removed from reality and they'll just, like, say, oh, how much to do that patio? And you just, like, triple the price or whatever it is because it's the government, they'll pay it. But surely you must go in a shop like that and go, wow, a can of fizzy pop, that's only £7.50. That must be a good deal. Now, officials also discovered nearly 4,500 disposable vapes allegedly containing excessive levels of nicotine or not conforming to UK's excessive levels of nicotine. Like, that's the big issue. And not the fact that it's like some Chinese sweat and arse pubes have been stuck into it. Mr. Hug, leader of Westminster City Council, said the US-themed sweet shops were on the right... sweet shops. They are not only an eyesore, they are a threat to the status and value of what is supposed to be the nation's premier shopping street, he said. I thought it was Savile Row or Mayfair.
I think
the problem is
apparently a bit of a shithole now, isn't it?
Well, that's a very racist statement towards the proud and diverse community of shopkeepers that are on it, which all seem to be from the same part of the subcontinent. The problem is that owners of the buildings are turning a blind eye to those who sublet them, as it means they are not liable for business rates. This needs to stop, and we'll be stepping up pressure on landlords, including bear-hugging them, to make it clear they're responsible for Oxford Street being overrun.
Say, you're a bad lad.
Overrun with these kinds of stores. I'm going to hug a hoodie now. Hug a hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with these words today. The people selling overpriced and often out-of-date sweets are cheating the UK taxpayer and very often swindling their customers into the bargain, and they won't let me hug them. Westminster City Council said it had recently written to 28 freeholders urging, please don't hug Mr. Hug. We know it's his name, but he's rather sensitive about it. And the last time he bear hugged someone, he cracked 3 of their ribs.
Speaking of dodgy finances, SpaceX has moved its base of incorporation from Delaware to Texas.
Oh,
Delaware is in Texas, isn't it?
He said,
no, Delaware's a separate state.
If your company is incorporated in Delaware, I recommend moving to another state as soon as possible. So they've obviously changed some sort of law then.
Oh, because like Delaware used to be like their version of Luxembourg or the Channel Islands, or what's the Cayman Islands? That's the other tax haven.
Let's try Delaware tax law. Just see what's changed.
Urging them to consider the impact of your sweet shops on Oxford Street. That's what they said after about Mr. Hug's hugging adventures. Its officers are currently taking action to enforce against properties under various civil proceedings, including planning enforcement action where the premises are advertising illegally. How does it... they haven't even talked about money laundering for drugs yet. The issue relates to empty shops, where the freeholder or long leaseholder would normally have to pay business rates on an empty store, but can pass on those rates to an occupier. The freeholder or long leaseholder allegedly lets to an intermediary company or person, who in turn lets to the candy stores, usually on licenses. The candy stores allegedly occupy the premises on a minimal rent and employ staff on minimal wages. What, they pay staff?
Wow.
I think it's more a case of, you know you owe us £20,000 for illegally smuggling you into the country? Yeah, well, that kilogram of heroin we shoved up your ass is only going to cover half of it. We own you now for the rest of your life, bitch.
So put his penny on and serve some sweets, out-of-date sweets to children.
Yeah.
Stack these shelves full of Lucky Charms and put the £19 price.
They're always after my Lucky Charms.
Oh, sir, they are after my lucky charms, but the children may not have it because I am stronger than they are, and I will chop their hands off with this sword. Your thing. The freehold, the candy stores allegedly occupy the premises on the mineral road. Yeah, we said that bit. And as tenants
do operate on the premises.
They
don't. And there's tenants operate on the premises. They do.
The candy stores allegedly occupy the premises. Why are they alleging that the candy stores? I mean, the thing is, like, I would like to present to the court this Exhibit A, House of Candy on, let's just say it's number 10 High Street of your town. Behold, here it is with its shops. It's open for business. I mean, if you look at that image there and say, what is this? I'd say it's a shop. Both of the entrances are open. It's got goods on display, and I would assume those goods are for sale. I can't see sticker prices on them, but I'm sure if I was to go into the shop, I would see I mean, what is the alleged part of this? Clearly, this premises is occupied, Your Honour, and it is trading under the business name House of Candy, where it is selling overpriced fucking goods.
House of Candy. It's allegedly a drug run in front.
Well, yeah, that's the bit, but they don't even say that in this article. They're saying it's allegedly occupying the premises. I mean, if it's not occupying the premises, then what is it? Is this just like a hallucination that Adam Hugg has had? Westminster City Councillor Adam Hugg.
That would explain the 30 candy stores on Oxford Street.
Oh, apparently you did an impression of Ian's accent, and that's spot on.
Oh, okay. Did Councillor Adam Hugg, when he was walking down Oxford Street, get a touch of the vapours and go, my God, there's 30 of these candy stores? And then he goes to the things, I've seen candy stores. We don't call them stores in the United Kingdom, do we? No, we call them shops.
We call them shops. We don't call them candy stores.
And they said, Mr. Hugg, have you been taking poppers in the bathhouse you frequent again? He's like, no, that's been discounted numerous times. I merely went in there. Allegedly, because I needed to bathe.
It was a washing machine salesman called Jim who was having his flat decorated. It wasn't me, Your Honour.
Anyway, as explained before, I was sprayed by a passing Transport for London bus.
Look at this extreme right-winger we've got in the chat. You need to be a drug dealer to pay for ULEZ fines in Londonistan today. As we all know, only extremely right-wing people add Istan to place names. You'll never get drafted for the army.
I think if you put the term Istan next to London, you win the extreme right-wing bingo, which... Yeah. If you get a bingo with that, it means you can't go in the army.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd love to serve in the army, but it appears I got bingo on your XRW chart.
Yeah. So I'd just like to point out the disgraceful racism from KO243 there.
Tom Alfkicker says, I discovered the best before date had expired on my fentanyl dib dab. I think that was George Floyd's favourite sweets.
Yeah, he always used to eat too many of them, though, didn't he?
That's the problem, yeah. He went into a diabetic coma, I believe. The candy stores allegedly occupied... Well, we said this bit before. It's like, look, Your Honour, the alleged bit is...
Hobbit?
With me for... No,
you disappeared just then.
Yeah,
did I?
You disappeared after alleged bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, this is the problem. We're getting too close to... We are getting to the bit of the CIA, because believe you me, there is a link between American candies.
The CIA is going to be happy when we start talking about them. Trust us.
God, what if the CIA is actually running these American candy stores? And you know what? I think I figured a way they have.
Make English people fat?
Yes, but also to do some other things. Now,
I don't think they'd do anything at all. It's not like they put crack on New York's streets, is it?
You know, and giving barrels of LSD to the Grateful Dead concert.
Packets of cocaine that appear on the Mexican border don't end up in black neighborhoods.
I think I worked out somewhere where, if 100 micrograms is one dose of LSD, and you've got a barrel which contains 55 gallons...
No, sorry. They take it back to the Pentagon and burn it, don't they? That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Hobbit's got a story about about that to tell us later. Let's carry on talking about these alleged candy shops. Are they alleged candy shops because they're not American candy? It's British candy that they've just bought and overpriced.
No, we'll just read the bit again. And as tenants, we said that the candy stores allegedly occupy the premises. So the allegation is that you see this house of candy on number 10 High Street in your town.
Is it illegal to be a shop on Oxford Street then?
The allegation is that the House of Candy is operating on Oxford Street along many others. But yeah, how the fuck is that an allegation? I mean, it's like saying, Your Honour, my client alleges that yesterday when it rained, he got wet when walking out in the water.
We're doing these shows. Is the overarching theme of this show poor journalism?
The thing is, when you start reading journalist articles out, you realise that, like, do you think with the journalists that they go to school and they want to be like a SWAT because they, for whatever reason, they think they're an intellectual, but they're actually too thick to be a proper science intellectual. Yeah. And they're also too thick to do English literature, so they do a degree.
A bit like Lister when he joined art college. How did you join journalism college? Well, I failed all my exams and applied. They snapped me up.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to say if you fail English lit, they'll be like, well, there's room for you in the journalism degree. So here we go. And as tenants occupying on licenses, it can be difficult to establish.
And for no reason whatsoever, online publications began closing one after the other.
Yeah, and as tenants occupying on licenses, it can be difficult to establish the identity of the business owners who should be paying their business rates. Now, isn't that a terrible little loophole in the law? It's just like, all this money seems to be coming into these shops, these Turkish barbers, American candy stores, chicken shops, nail salons, all these places which do a lot of cash in trade. And it just seems to be that the revenue that they are bringing in doesn't match the customer footfall of what's going in.
No.
Well, it's a bit strange, very strange. So the CIA and drug running, what's that about?
Hobbit, you got again.
Laundering.
You went again.
Did I?
Yeah.
All right. I'd like you to cast your mind back to when we were doing the article of money laundering, specifically with God's Banker. And one of the things which came up in that...
I should think, just as a side note, during the episode on God's Banker...
Wait.
Yes. I should think the CIA had their dirty mitts in destabilising the Polish government, didn't they?
Well, they did.
They did. I think it's actually been proven because it was said about.
Yes.
Because it was mentioned in the documentary God's Banker.
Yes. But, in addition to that, Operation Gladio and the P2 Lodge in there, they were doing something.
This is why I talked about why I spoke about GLE and P2, because they were the first parts of the thing to get into place, and once they were in place, it made the rest of it easier to appear, didn't it?
Well, if it wasn't for that foundation, God's Banker wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't. The CIA are attacking Hobbit.
I know. CIA fucking trying to dox the details.
Okay, I will try and say this bit.
They're on you, Hobbit. The candy shops are onto you.
I will try and say this piece, and God willing, I can get it out, and then you can carry on with it.
If Hobbit is found in a Cessna that crashes and he shot himself twice in the head, he didn't do it.
I'm not suicidal. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Saviour. And I'm not doing any drugs, so yeah. Now,
Hobbit found with a load of candy, in his pocket.
American candy.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate the word candy as well? It's like, why can't they say fucking sweets like normal people?
But would you say candied chestnuts or would you say sweet chestnut?
It's a cooking process, isn't it, candying?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I like candied nuts. Like, have you ever had like honey roast almonds or cashews?
No.
Oh yeah, you don't like sweet and salty, do you?
I don't really like nuts at all.
Oh, do you not?
No.
What about peanuts?
Dry roasted peanuts.
I love peanuts. I love peanuts.
That's weird, you see. Maybe it's just like people don't like nuts like dry roasted, because I think the worst thing you can do to a nut is dry roast it. I mean, they put all that
roasting. It's the coating, isn't it? The coating.
Yeah, that coating's vile.
You don't like it?
Oh God, it's disgusting. I mean, it's like one of those.
It's that, or Ian prefers eye candy. Is he getting it in hospital? I think he said the nurses were dogs, didn't he?
Maybe he's just been, sort of stuck in bed for too long, and he's starting to think they're passable.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem with the coating on dry roasted peanuts is it feels like one of the workers in House of Candy, which allegedly operates in on the premises, is rubbed it between his armpits, and it's just like you eat the peanut, and it's like, why does this taste of BO? It's vile.
Or when.
Oh no, we're not talking about that. The reason I thought we ought to do this episode, and what I'm trying to spit out before my voice goes bad, is, did you notice that we were doing the article about him who gets the Alleluias?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah, here's 49 tons of cocaine on pallets, which is very useful because I can tell you now, between handballing and pump trucks, palletized goods are a lot easier to handle. And the Panamanian officials were saying, oh no, we don't have facilities to incinerate here. So you see, what we're going to do is load it up on
gasoline on it in a match is like way beyond the Panamanian authorities.
But putting gasoline into a cargo plane and then flying it from Panama all the way to, is it Long Beach, Virginia, where the CIA is?
No, it'd be Maryland.
Well, wherever the CIA cocaine importing agency has their airstrip.
Langley, isn't it? It's Langley. I think their headquarters are. I'm on the CIA.gov. Oh, careers. Do you want a job, Hobbit?
Do they offer a moving bonus?
You can. There are over 165 careers essential to our mission, which is subverting anywhere. Oh, you got to be. You got to be a US citizen, but it's okay if you're a dual US citizen. That's being a dual citizen obviously isn't the problem if you're.
That's not a conflict of interest when you're working for an intelligence agency. Not at all. I did see a job opening up at GCHQ recently, so I applied for that because it's like I'm a Fed and all that. So
antennas and propagation research and engineer.
Oh, you're going to be putting antennas into schizophrenics' heads so that they get instructions to do what somebody did.
Looking for the good one. Artificial intelligence specialist.
Yeah.
Automotive mechanic, Hobbit.
Oh, the CIA needs a few people to make sure the brake lines aren't cut on their vehicles.
Yeah. Battery and power research and engineer. Why do they keep putting ands in all of these? It feels like there's too many ands in some of these names. Cartographer. Do you want to do some mapping, Hobbit?
Actually, I love maps. But maybe tell Mush about that as well. He likes maps too.
Be a case officer. So case officers clandestinely spot, assess, develop, recruit and handle non-US citizens with access to foreign intelligence vital to US foreign policy and national security decision makers.
I would like to be a case officer that studies the Iran-Contra affair. So you may be saying, why does the CIA, the cocaine importing agency, do all this stuff? Because isn't it ostensibly a government department? And it is. But you see, for whatever reason, they were like, what if we had a government department, right? But instead of being funded by the government, we said to them, you're a for-profit concern, so make your own money. And also, because you're all...
stop you just there. So I'm looking at how we hire. To carry out our mission, our work, all CIA professionals must live up to the highest standards of integrity. With this in mind, we carefully vet every candidate who hopes to join the CIA. Our hiring process may be lengthy, but it could lead to an exciting career where you can make a difference for our country. We want all our candidates to move through the hiring process with confidence and ease. So there you go. I don't know what you're going to say here, Hobbit, but straight from their mouth, they just want people with the highest standards of integrity. So integrity is the CIA's middle initial.
Because
the Central Integrity Agency, they should be called, I bet.
And I bet every single person who applies for that job with integrity doesn't get it.
You need a lot of integrity.
You could be suggesting there, Fraser.
You need a lot of integrity when you're doing.
That's the trick.
The sort of things they're doing.
Did you know the CIA has its own news and stories page on its website?
Is it as good as the BBC's Pigeon service?
Wild Tales, animals who call CIA headquarters home. CIA headquarters is home to one of the world's top spy agencies. However, our campus has always become a sanctuary of sorts to feathered, scaled and furry critters of all kinds. And Hillary Clinton.
That's got scales, though.
Holiday to Remember CIA edition. From Walt Disney to war movies, Bob Broughton. Are they doxing people here?
Wait,
are they saying he's our lad?
Is this a zoo or something, or a fucking, I don't know, what is it?
Yeah,
is this CIA or is it?
They probably throw copious amounts of LSD into the just to see how things work, don't they?
Oh, so when they're saying this is a sanctuary for furry animals, it means we're rapidly testing
just
deadly
LSD
weapons.
Out. You know the CIA love LSD, and they love giving it to people who are completely unawares of taking it.
Yeah.
How many doses of LSD in a 55-gallon barrel? So 100 micrograms is one dose, right? How many doses are in a gallon of LSD? So it is. So how many grams in a? Come on, get to the bit. They're saying a dose varies between 50. Oh, give me just the fucking answer. Fuck's sake! Why could there's like a whole? My God! Right, okay.
The CIA have got their own podcast. 0009 of our podcast, The Langley Files, to learn more about the security protective officers who keep CIA personnel and facilities.
Not to be confused with the not to be confused with Langley's Cycle to Work program.
Websites.
Not to be confused with the CIA's Cycle to Work scheme called the Pedal Files.
Pedal Files. Fucking hell. Wait, so hold on. So they're just having like fucking podcasts with their like top secrets.
Yeah, well, I suppose the retired ones. And they've got a dog.
Bit stupid to have.
They've got a Labrador dog, and it's dressed up in all different Halloween costumes, like Wonder Woman, sunglasses and a tie, dressed as a lion. This fucking website is wild.
Priorities.
But they're kind of. It's to do with an article where they tell you how to dress for being undercover.
As a dog in a Wonder Woman costume.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
So, would you like to know how many?
I didn't know Dianne Feinstein was dead.
Yeah. Ooh. She died a few years ago, didn't she?
No, September 29th, 2023, apparently.
Oh, right.
Would you like to know how many doses in a 55-gallon barrel of LSD there are?
Senior CIA officer reflects on defending Washington, D.C. on 9/11. Yeah, right, pal. Of course you did.
No, how many LSDs in a 55-gallon barrel?
Yeah.
It is 2.7 billion doses of LSD in one barrel. So you could get especially in the 1960s. What was the population in the 1960s? I mean, world population,
like
population in 1969. Let's say 1969 was 3.6 billion people. So
really? Wow.
Back in the day, the CIA manufactured enough LSD to dose nearly everyone on the planet. Because they made more than one barrel of this stuff, and this barrel was seen doing the rounds in numerous Grateful Dead and Fish concerts, and they reckon that barrel finally got used up sometime in the 1990s, which is when Neurosoup and her It's Not Walter White in the nuclear bunker were making new LSD.
Can you volunteer for Operation Midnight Climax on the CIA website? What is Operation Midnight Climax? Or do I not want to know?
Can I not? How about that?
Do you know what Operation Midnight Climax is?
It's the bit where CIA does when they don't want you to talk about their drug running activities and how the Iran-Contra affair was caused by them, amongst other things. Like, why are they taking 49 tons of cocaine from Panama? And what's it got to do with American candy stores?
It's a sub-operation of MK Ultra.
Okay.
Wait, okay. Just randomly on their website.
No,
it couldn't be an MK Ultra.
Don mentioned that one. Don mentioned that.
Oh, right, okay.
Hmm.
Yes, just come in and volunteer to be an MK Ultra subject. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did that these days. Like, who the fuck would know, you know?
I thought MK Ultra was like controlling the public using television and then Facebook.
No, television is Mockingbird, isn't it?
MK Ultra was the psychic stuff, wasn't it?
No, MK Ultra was the one where they
mind control Ultra.
Parts of your personality split off, and then they bury those parts, so you're a sleeper agent. Probably Sirhan was MK Ultra, because apparently when he was shooting Bobby Kennedy, he was still pulling the trigger long after the gun was empty.
Yeah. Okay, so the Manchurian Candidate, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But how they do it, apparently, it's like abuse and LSD. It's abuse and LSD until like a chunk of your mind breaks off, and then that part of the mind is the part they program and then bury deep until they bring it out with a trigger word.
So
in Naked Gun. Okay. Is it Naked Gun 2 or 3? I can't remember.
What's the one with the LSD and the sex stuff? What's that one?
That could have been MK Ultra as well, because it was like LSD and sexual abuse, and that's how they fuck your personality up.
Okay.
Oh, what's his name? Charlie Skelter did Charlie Sheldon?
No,
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson and Helter Skelter. You know, the old race war fucking chestnut that state ops always fucking bring up every time. Oh, we're gonna have a race war, guys.
Yeah.
And he did a lot. You know, that as soon as they bring up race war, that's the time to stop listening to him, because you know what they are.
Is he still alive?
Charles Manson? No, I think he's dead.
Oh, okay.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Manson. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
November 19th, 2017. Fucking hell, I didn't know he was that old. He was born Charles Maddox.
Oh, not the owner of the greatest website in the world ever.
No.
Guys, I think the CIA took away my cocaine, and I'm starting to feel like I can't really talk about it now. I mean, I know they've taken it, and then they launder the money through these drug fronts and nail salons and what have you.
What was I was going to talk about? So you mentioned, what operation did you mention, Hobbit?
The Iran-Contra affair.
Iran-Contra. So have you spoken about? Sorry.
No, I just mentioned the name.
Okay, so apparently Air America as well. Have you heard about Air America?
No, that's the thing I want you to tell me about.
So Air America was an American an American passenger and cargo airline established in 1946 and covertly owned and operated by the Central Intelligence Agency from 1950 to 1976. It supplied and supported covert operations in Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War, including providing support for drug smuggling in Laos.
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 Laos. Let's get Laos.
So, Air America planes sometimes transported drugs during the Laotian Civil War, although there is debate whether Air America and the CIA were actively involved or merely allowed others to transport drugs. So they covertly owned it, but who knows if they knew what the fuck was going on there, because LOL, you know what it's like. So during the war, the CIA recruited people from Miao, Hmong population. Meow or Hmong.
Meow.
To fight the Pathet Lao. God, fuck. I do struggle with these Vietnamese names.
I had that for my lunch earlier today. Yeah, the pad thai is quite good.
Pathet Lao.
Yeah. It's I had the chicken pathet.
Beautiful.
Chicken pathet Lao.
Yeah, and their North Vietnamese allies, because of the conflict, many Hmong depended upon poppy cultivation for money. It's funny, it's weird, isn't it? When the CIA get involved, poppy cultivation occurs.
It's always as if, like, CIA comes to your country and it's like, do you want us to abuse your children by pouring acid over their genitals? Oh, you don't? Well, you're not going to grow poppies.
Have you ever seen, what's that one? I can't remember who did the documentary. What's his name? Brain's going.
Same here.
Yeah. He did one about the... It's completely going now. Adam Curtis, one of his documentaries, the one about...
I've heard of him.
Yeah. It's not coming. Adam Curtis, I'm going to have to look up Adam Curtis documentaries because my brain has completely gone.
Well, whilst you do that, what if I was to talk about, say, the Iran-Contra affair and not the fucking American candy stores with the alleged...
This is pertinent because what happened in Bitter Lake, that's what it's called. It's finally fucking come to me. He did one called Bitter Lake, which was about the Afghanistan conflict. So what happened? So you've got the so before it went to shit, there was a king. Was it the king? The king of Afghanistan?
Oh, was there? I didn't know.
Yes. So what the king was quite a progressive guy. So that's when you had women in.
Was that Michael Caine?
Women. It was in the 60s. Women in bikinis, all that kind of stuff.
Hello.
So
my name's Michael Caine.
He asks the Yanks
to help him out. I am the king of Afghanistan.
He asked the Yanks to help him out because the Yanks are very, very helpful people. What they did is they said, "I'll tell you what you want to do. You want to build dams. You build dams. You can have electricity. Your country is going to be sweet." So what happens is they build the dams, and that raises.
As sweet as House of Candy.
It's sweet, very sweet.
But as sweet as House of Candy.
Sweeter. It's going to be sweet as a nut, mate.
Oh, wow.
So what happens? They build all these dams in America like hydroelectric dams in Afghanistan, and that raises the water table. So with raising the water table, you have a higher salt content in the soil. And lo and behold, do you know what a high salt content in the soil is really good for growing, Hobbit? Can you think?
Cantaloupe melons.
Second guess, Hobbit.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Nope.
It's not very good at growing most crops. I know that.
A certain type of flower that the CIA really enjoy growing.
Oh, the pansies.
That's it. Well, no, poppies.
Oh yeah, well, pansies, poppy, same difference.
Yeah. So yes.
You mean opium?
No, poppies, Hobbit. Poppies, Fraser. It's just merely an accident that you can make opium out of them.
Opium.
Copium, probably.
Opium.
Yeah.
Did you know you can get an Android phone for like £22 and it's unlocked?
Oh, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's an N8 VFD. How much cocaine is on it?
in it.
Well, I mean, if you're buying a brick of cocaine for £22, then the CIA would like to know where you are.
I think it's still on. It might still be on the iPlayer, but Bitter Lake's well worth watching because it's a really interesting documentary on the war in Afghanistan.
Sorry. Just no, as the audience may be aware, on Thursdays I get up at 7 a.m. because I do all this extensive research for Fortean. I get ever so excited about.
Hobbit, something you'll enjoy. It's got some Cliff Martinez tracks from the OST for Drive, including tracks My Name on a Car, Kick Your Teeth, and I Drive.
Oh yeah, I actually quite liked the music in that film.
Yeah, so another reason you'd enjoy Bitter Lake.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that. So basically, the dude tries to modernise it, ends up getting fucked over by the CIA, and in a completely unrelated incident, is assassinated.
Oh. Well.
And then Afghanistan turns to shit, and oh no, the country's turned to shit. What am I going to do? I can only grow poppies.
It is strange, isn't it?
It's all.
I wonder who they got that idea from.
Do you know that I think one of the things which we did, which I'm quite pleased about, somewhere in Oxfordshire, and I'm guessing it's kind of well guarded, it's probably hidden by growths of something very tall. There is a secret field that are growing Papaver soniferium, the white poppy.
Who's Gary Webb that Chaos is talking about?
Whistleblower
for the drug trafficking. Do you want to look at Gary Webb?
Yeah, we can do that. But just briefly, so this secret field that's growing white poppy, it's grown exclusively for the use of NHS, so they can make morphine and diamorphine and also codeine as well. Because they decided they no longer wanted to import heroin from Afghanistan. And then you can render heroin into morphine, but you can't get codeine out of it. So maybe they're taking opium. Is
that a passage from the Bible? You can't render morphine from codeine.
No, because the chemistry in there wasn't that advanced back then. No, it's Oh, sorry, I'm just doing the autism thing.
I was being sarcastic of it.
I know. I just you know what I'm like.
That. I think it's render unto Caesar, isn't it? I think.
Render unto codeine what belongs to codeine. Render unto morphia what belongs to morphia. I think Morpheus is like king of the dreams, isn't he? So the idea that morphine is nod off with it. That's the
it's
idea.
Like sneezing times 100.
Which is. It's new from the makers of Whiskey Galore, Heroin Galore. The Scottish...
The Far Show, if anybody can't remember what it is, Hobbit reminded me today.
The Scottish delicacy of deep-fried, battered heroin. Oh, it's just so good.
You can get that a number of places, but I suggest you don't.
Well, I suggest you don't. Yeah. So, we were talking about heroin? Opium. Yes, Afghanistan does a lot of it, and America wants a lot of it. Specifically,
Why would
the
America
Sackler.
want a lot of it?
Well, it's not really that America want a lot.
Substance.
Well, you see, the funny thing is, the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma said, "We've got this great drug called hydrocodone." Yeah, hydrocodone, OxyContin, something like that.
Oxycodone.
Oxycodone, that could be the one, yeah.
I should imagine there's quite a few different names for it, aren't there? I think there'll be like the trade name and there'll be the generic name, won't there?
Well, it's like when you go to a shop and there's like a billion different energy drinks, but they're all just caffeinated sugar water, and it's... it turns out there are some big customers for Afghan opiums in the United States, and us in our country, rather than going because like the soldiers occasionally they'd seize like a large shipment of opium, and then they'd fly it over here, and then they'd say
they later founded a company called Mundy Pharma, which is
no
a British multinational research-based pharmaceutical company owned by members of the Sackler family, with locations in the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and Singapore.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad they're in this country as well. Now the thing is, yes, our country is pretty shit, and things are pretty.
They manufacture hydromorphone, fentanyl, codeine, hydrocodone, and oxycodone, which is the brand name OxyContin.
That's the one. Yeah. So I think the story goes. No, that's what I was going to say. Our country might be shit, but at least it's not as corrupt in America. Occasionally, they wouldn't do it as a matter of course, but occasionally our soldiers, when they're in Afghanistan, they would seize upon some opium, it'd be flown over, it'd be given securely to the NHS, I say the NHS, it'll be given to one of their laboratories, who then render it down into medical grade heroin and morphine.
Oh fuck! How about this one then? Just on a side note about the Sacklers, the family's philanthropy has been characterised as reputation laundering from profits acquired from the selling of opiates. In response to the role of Purdue in the opioid crisis, photographer Nan Goldin launched the organisation PAIN, which doesn't say what it stands for, PAIN, to pressure museums and other cultural institutions to divest from Sackler family philanthropy. As of May 2023, at least 20 institutions have dropped the Sackler name, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Yale University, and the National Gallery in London. Other institutions have stopped accepting donations from the Sackler family. Well done to that dude. Like, why should they be allowed to do that?
Yeah, it seems like they can't buy goodwill anymore, which is surprises me, but there you have it. So, opiates, they're pretty nasty, and that CIA's
got about the 2019 and 2020 lawsuits. So in August 2019...
Yes, I do remember saying about this.
So Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family were in negotiations to settle the claims for a payment of 10 to 12 billion. The settlement would include a Chapter 11 filing by Purdue Pharma.
How many days of trade does that equate to for them?
Fuck knows, doesn't say. Which would be restructured as a public beneficiary trust, and the Sackler family would give up any ownership in the company. So this is why they started Mundy Pharma then.
So is this like when House of Candy rebrands as Candy House?
Yeah, and I've sold it to my brother. It's not mine anymore.
Or when Hermes rebrands as Every?
Yeah, it's a different name, same shit.
It's like, oh, everybody hates Hermes for how shit they are. Well, look, we got a new company. It's called Every. We're definitely not Hermes. Wink, wink.
This was a pretty good fucking win. Addiction treatment drugs currently developed by the company would be given to the public cost-free. All profits of Purdue would henceforth go to the plaintiffs in the case. On top of that, the Sackler family would contribute $3 billion in cash. The family would also sell Mundy Pharma and contribute another $1.5 billion from the sale proceeds to the settlement.
What's one of the stipulations that they can't give $3 billion in pennies because there's not that many in circulation, and when they sorted cash, the banknotes on them, they're not allowed to have traces of fentanyl or other opiates because they don't want people overdosing just by handling banknotes.
Well, it's da-da-da-da at the end anyway. However, the Sackler family would remain a billionaire family and would not be criminally charged for contributing to the opioid crisis.
That's nice.
Purdue filed for it. To be fair, it's kind of... I think it was a bit painful for him, though, wasn't it?
Out of curiosity, I've been looking at cameras on eBay. Not cameras, sorry. Mobile phones. And did you know that Land Rover is a brand for mobile phones?
I know JCB make mobile phones. I didn't know Land Rover.
Do they? Let me have a look see if I could go back to J and see what... Binatone? Binatone are making phones?
Binatone have been around for ages, years.
I was going to say, do you remember Binatone?
That was... wasn't that like a Curry's make or a Dixon's or something?
I all seem to remember having a
Matsui stereos.
Yes, and Matsui televisions.
Yeah.
J, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J.
It's probably the
HIJ.
Sackler family that owned the candy stores, says Chaos.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. JCB, 2 entries for it.
Yeah, they're quite tough phones. The JCB ones are.
You can get Konica phones.
Yeah, as Chaos says, if they were having any headaches over losing all that money, they could always take an aspirin, couldn't they?
No, because that's Bayer. That's a different company. There's even a phone company here, and there's like 2,000 entries for it. Ex-Gotti phones, yeah.
Ex-Gotti, they sound good. Ex-Gotti, quality. £1 phone, £1 phone.
It's Ex-Gotti. Unbranded. There's 2,000 of those. There's even one here called The Handy, and there's just one of them. And Telefunken, there's one of those.
My dad's got one of those big button old people flip phones.
Oh, nice. Is it the one where the buttons are bigger than your thumb?
Yeah.
I like those phones. Well, I was looking at a phone the other day. It's like, oh, that's Granny's phone. I was like, it's £130 and it does everything I want. What's wrong with it?
I could highly recommend the Nothing phone. I've got a Nothing phone and it's a really good phone.
You can get a Motorola Razr for like £40.
A Razr? Are they? Well, it's got to be whatever you buy. It's got to be 4G because 3G is being turned off this year.
Yeah, it says Grady like new condition. Can you run a modern SIM in it?
3G give you vitamin C? Is that why people are so against 5G?
The connectivity on it is 2G, Bluetooth, GPRS, and mini USB. Oh my god! It literally is the Razr from the mid-2000s.
Oh, my mate had a Razr and it just started. It was fucked. It had one batter in too many and probably soaked in beer one too many times, and it just started randomly deleting contacts from his memory.
I had a Razr and I really liked that phone. Amazing.
You can't beat the 3330, can you?
What the phone which you can also use as a hammer?
Yeah, the WAP phone.
Oh, so I was thinking the 3310.
3330 was WAP, wasn't it? A bit.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. So Fraser, drugs. Scotland.
How they work.
And didn't you hear about the ice cream wars over there?
Yes, yeah, I've heard of that, but I'm not exactly.
Fraser can't talk about it legally. He can't talk about it.
No, I got shares in it. Yeah.
Oh, you own a Mr. Whippy, do you?
Oh yeah.
If Fraser tells you about it, he'll have to kill you a bit.
That's okay. I'm not feeling suicidal.
You know what?
Wait, hang on.
I really want a Mr. Whippy now.
Oh, I like the soft serve. You should go to one of those budget hotels in Japan. Well, not. I'm not saying.
Yes. You should pay $3,000 to go to a budget.
As much as that.
Just go to your nearest IKEA and they do it there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you find yourself in Japan and you're like, I'm going to stay in a budget hotel for a night just to see what it's like, you can get all you can eat curry and soft serve ice cream there. Which, considering you're paying,
your guts to be fucking rotten the next day. just gut ache from too much ice cream.
Well, yeah, I was going to say too much curry, but the curries they're quite mild. They're not in for like crazy amounts of.
Is it similar to the Chinese curry? Is it? I don't want to be racist or anything.
What it was is we brought over curry from India, and the Japanese were like, "God, this is way too spicy." But we like the idea.
He had the Razr V3, had a side-scrolling version of Splinter Cell.
That is cool. There was some really good games on phones before Candy Crush took over.
AAA's at the time had a mobile version, didn't they? I used to have loads of them on Nokia because I used to download them. You could download them off of Sherazar. Hobbit.
Oh, amazing! Oh no,
Day.
this can't. Oh, it's a 3G phone because it was saying 16 gigs. And it's...
Ravenloft did some really nice looking games on there.
Oh yeah. No, these must be old phones. They're yeah. So drugs, eh? How do they get into countries? I mean, there's all sorts of it. I even heard, like, what they do in the Gulf of Mexico is they have these submarines, and they go from the place where you buy your drugs from, like Drugs R Us, or sorry, Drogos are USA.
Scotcho.
Drogos
are us.
Drogos pistoleros. And you go to Drogo pistoleros and then say, oh, hello, senor, I will buy all your cocaine. Yeah. And then you go and buy all your cocaine, which turns out is 49 tons of it. Yeah. You put it in your submarine, and then you go, I'm in the submarine now, and if you haven't paid off the Coast Guard, they'll come and stop you. But if you have paid them off, they'll be like, come on, buddy, we'll help you into the docks, and we'll shoot all those would-be people that are trying to arrest you. So you get your cocaine into the docks, and then what you got to do, right, is you got to put it in special packs of Lucky Charms, which cost like £90 a box, and then it can go to House of Candy on 10 Oxford Street. Cool, eh?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, you have the drugs in the middle and the House of Candy stuff. They're always after me, lucky cocaine. You'd have that in the middle, wouldn't you? And then the boxes around the outside, so you can still.
What you got to do is, in your industrial bucket of ranch, you put a little ultraviolet star.
Fucking CIA has zapped him again.
See it, like they'll shine.
The CIA got you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Well, I was just reading out the plot from Breaking Bad, where I was saying you put the drugs into a foodstuff, and then you put a special mark on it, which shows up on an ultraviolet light.
Right, so what else do we want to talk about? We talked about we briefly touched on Air America. We've touched on... do you know about this web geezer then? Hobbit.
Oh, Gary Webb.
Yeah.
He, like you said, I'm getting confused with Gary McKinnon.
Yeah.
He's not Gary McKinnon. Tell me more about Gary Webb.
He's a journalist.
That's nice.
August 31st, 1955 to December the 10th, 2004. So we did a CIA report. CIA Inspector General's... Oh, no, okay then. Started too far down. So, Gary Webb. Right, so... Webb began researching Dark Alliance in July 1995. The series was published in the Mercury News in 3 parts from Sunday the 18th of August 19... Do you remember when journalists actually did journalism? Do you remember this, Hobbit?
Rumours have it that it did happen at one point, yeah.
So he did this thing. The website artwork showed the silhouette of a man smoking a crack pipe superimposed over the CIA seal. Fucking weird.
Wait, smoking a crack pipe? That's something that's very popular in Germany, I hear.
Yeah, is it?
A crack pipe.
A crap pipe. I meant a crack pipe.
Oh, that, yeah. But enough about my erstwhile friend, who I don't talk to. Oh, by the way, does Mush listen to this? Let's see if he is.
Now, isn't
he? Mush, when I was talking about my friend, the one, like, woke up and pointed a gun at my face, he is actually a good friend, and I knew he wasn't going to pull the trigger, but at the same time, he does certain things. That didn't upset me as the time when I was in I believe the journalistic term is I was in a tired and emotional state, and he wanted to show me a video of this golf ball sized boil on someone's back being lanced. and I threw a pillow at him really hard, and he said that was the closest he's ever come to punching me. I was like, I was in a certain state.
Tired and emotional state.
I was in a tired and emotional state, and you were showing something that was practically gore porn, and I don't want to see that sober, yet alone in a tired and emotional state.
So, Gary Webb, the lead of the first article, set out the series' basic claims. For the best part of a decade, a San Francisco Bay Area drug ring sold tons of cocaine to the Crips and the Bloods. As we know, Jimmy was in the Crips, weren't he?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Cool.
Street gang.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They've got lemonade and candy from the American Candy Store.
No, when they in the Crips. Do you remember when they joined the gang, the Crips?
Yeah, and then they go and buy. They get like a lock-in in the thing.
Yeah.
The thing's got a name. You know the name?
No, I don't. I don't really remember the episode. I just
they go to the.
He was one of the Crips.
They have a lock-in in the basketball court, and they're like, "You're not coming out until you learn to get along." So they all start playing basketball and drinking soda pop together.
So the San Francisco Bay Area drug ring sold tons of cocaine to the Crips and the Bloods. It's funny that they can get on together when they're using the same guy to buy their drugs from, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, it's like they both go to the Drogos y Pistoleros bodega.
Because obviously it's not Agent Smith or Agent Jones they buy the drugs from, is it?
Oh, there's a bit on Gary Webb on the Telegram chat. So if you're
just a picture of him. I've already looked.
Oh.
That's why I started talking about Gary Webb. So they funneled millions in drug profits to a Latin American guerrilla army run by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency. I don't believe the CIA would do such a thing. Do you, Hobbit?
I can neither confirm or deny these allegations of what business may be on the premises.
Nice internet connection you got there, Hobbit. It'd be a shame if something could happen to it, wouldn't it?
Fuck me, it's almost as if the CIA would be like, fuck you, Hobbit, you're not talking about drugs today.
So this drug ring opened the first pipeline between Colombia's cocaine cartels and the black neighborhoods of Los Angeles. And as a result, the cocaine that flooded in helped spark a crack explosion in urban America. To show this, the series focused on three men, Freeway Ricky Ross, Oscar Danilo Blandon, and Norwin Menzies. Freeway Ricky Ross, doesn't Alex Jones talk about him a bit?
Yes. Have you ever seen My £600 Life? Because there's a real crack epidemic in America now.
Yeah.
Some of them are just vast. There's like no way they can reach and wipe up those cracks.
Ross, we've got a major crack epidemic on our fucking roads. Fucking state of them. Ross was a major drug...
There's potholes in our state.
That's what I mean. Ross was a major drug dealer in Los Angeles. Blandon and Menzies were Nicaraguans. How do you say? Can you do it with the proper Latin?
Sí, Nicaragua. Nicaraguans
who smuggled drugs into the US and supplied dealers like Ross. After introducing the three, the first article discussed primarily Blandon and Menzies and their relationship with the Contras and the CIA. Much of the article highlighted... So do the Contras fight aliens? Arcade joke, Hobbit. Contra. You ever played Contra?
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I never really played Contra.
Yeah, was that deliberate? Just say when you think Contras, you think good guys because they shoot aliens.
You know what? It could be one of those things, couldn't it? Because they do. Like, if you type in Israeli dancing into Google these days, you come up with Israeli dance classes. Because everyone knows what great dancers the Israelis are. Yes. They in fact, you can... It used to be a sort of popular thing, like, their dancing is known across the world. especially in New York on certain dates.
Yeah.
About 23 years
around
ago.
The 9th of November, usually, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Much of the article.
Remember the 9th of November.
Yeah, gunpowder treason and plot. Jet fuel treason and plot.
Yeah.
Much of the article highlighted the failure of law enforcement agencies to successfully prosecute them, and stated that this was largely due to their Contra and CIA connections. The second article described Blandon's, but don't they all kind of hate each other? Like the FBI hate the cops hate the army, like they all fucking hate each other.
Maybe they got a rivalry, but I'm not sure that you could say that.
Oh, okay then. The second article described Blandon's background and how he began smuggling cocaine to support the Contras. We just put Contras. We got no money. We had to sell the drugs because we have no other choice. Menendez, an established smuggler and Contra supporter as well, taught Blandon how to smuggle and provided him with cocaine. When Ross discovered the market for crack in Los Angeles, he began buying cocaine from Blandon. Blandon and Menendez's high volume supply of low-priced, high purity cocaine allowed Ross to sew up the Los Angeles market and move on. In city after city, local dealers either bought from Ross or got left behind. The third article discussed the social effects of the crack trade, noting it had a disparate effect on African Americans, socio-economic reasons. Asking why crack became so prevalent in the black community of Los Angeles, the article credited Blandon, referring to him as the Johnny Appleseed of crack in California. Who is Johnny Appleseed?
If you heard the story about, there was this American who had like a bag of apple seeds, and he goes around America planting them so that people can have apple trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit rubbish, really, isn't it?
Well, that's American culture.
He's no John Bull, is he?
No, he's not.
Or Britannia or King Arthur.
He's not even Spanko. I mean, Spanko is a far, but you know the story of Spanko?
No, Spanko.
Let me see if I can dig it up. This is somewhat drug related. Spanko.
It also found disparities in the treatment of black and white traffickers in the justice system.
Oh,
contrasting the
Whipping
treatment
Tom.
of Bladen and Ross after their arrest for drug trafficking. I bet.
Right, so Whipping Tom is the name for Spanko.
Yeah.
I just know him as Spanko, right? So Whipping Tom, or Harby, was the nickname given to two sexual attackers in London and the nearby village of Hackney. Both would attack women walking alone and beat their buttocks. While there is some evidence that an earlier attacker around 1672 was also named Whipping Tom and carried out similar attacks on women, the earliest recorded attacker of this nature was active in central London in 1681. He would approach the unaccompanied women in alleys and courtyards and bend them over his knee, lift their dress and spank them on the buttocks before fleeing. The inability of the authorities to apprehend the offender caused complaints about the ineffectiveness of London's constabulary and prompted vigilante patrols in the affected areas.
It's very Spring-Heel Jack, isn't it?
A local haberdasher and his accomplice were captured and tried for the attacks. A second attacker, nicknamed Whipping Tom, was active in late 1712 in Hackney, then a rural village outside London. The attacker would approach lone women in the countryside and beat them on the buttocks with a birch rod. Around 70 attacks were carried out before the local man named Thomas Wallace was captured and confessed the attacks. Earlier Whipping Tom... Well, the thing is, whilst he was doing this, he would shout out, "Spanko!" and run away. I kind of just like the idea that, back 4 centuries ago, this guy was putting fots in their place, and it was like, but these are trad women. It's like, but not according to Spanko, they weren't.
But they're out on
it was like, look at these slatternly women walking around unaccompanied, exciting my sexual ardour. Yeah. I shall spank them over the buttocks until they've learned their place. Yeah. So
women, know your limits.
Yeah, or Spanko will get you. His first adventure, as near as we can learn, was on the servant maid in New Street.
Spanko would have a field day now on your average night out in town, wouldn't it?
Oh, fuck me. He'd go to New Street and go, American Candy Store? Spanko!
Yeah.
So to look for a master. As she was turning a corner, perceived a tall black man standing up against the wall, as if he'd been making water, but she had not passed far. But with great speed and violence seized her, and then in a trice, laying her across his knee, he took up her linen, and laid so hard upon her backside, as made her cry out most piteously for help, which she no sooner perceiving to approach, as she declares, than he vanished. So that's Whipping Tom with a bit of purple ackee mixed in. Fuck you, Johnny Appleseed. Why are you getting proper, like, myths?
Myths.
Bitch.
Myths.
Yeah. Let me get some myths in there.
Myths.
Myths.
He wasn't the hero we deserved, but he was the hero we needed.
And it's the hero that the women often talked about, like, why wouldn't Spanko come? I reckon there was more women walking around unaccompanied there, like, spending it. It was like, oh, dearie me, it would be terrible if somebody put me over their knee and spanked me.
I forgot to put my bloomers on.
Yes.
Oh, no,
I'm only wearing...
ankle.
I'm only wearing 7 layers of skirts and not the usual 18.
It also found disparities... Oh, I've read that. So, because Blandon...
Spanko!
Because Blandon cooperated with the Drug Enforcement Administration, he spent only 28 months in prison and became a paid government informant. That's a surprise, a criminal turning informant. You don't often see that.
Amazing.
And received permanent resident status. Ross was also released early after cooperating with an investigation of police corruption, but was rearrested a few months later on a sting operation arranged with Blandon's help. The article, if you can't, there is always honour amongst thieves, isn't there, Hobbit?
Is there?
No,
I thought there'd be. I was going to say they're quite willing to sell each other out, aren't they?
Yeah. But was rearrested a few months later in a sting operation arranged with Blandon's help.
Was that a reverse burp?
No, it's a hiccup. The
hiccup.
Yeah, that's what is that what a hiccup is? A reverse burp.
Well, it just sounded like you were breathing in air at the same time. I was like, that sounded a bit like a burp in reverse.
The article suggests.
You know, I did the same thing this morning when I was talking with Fraser. I was burping and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just when I haven't eaten anything, I start. I don't know why, and it's like my stomach saying, like, yeah, you need to go eat now."
The DEA came across a magazine from Colombia that had a thicker than usual plastic coating. Considering the drug record of the country, the cover was tested. Results showed it was 21.5% was made with cocaine. However, if it were pure, it would have been only about 3.1 grams in total. While odd, considering that smugglers went to great lengths to conceal it, the cocaine was unusable as the levamisole ruined it. What's levamisole? Is that like a bonding agent, like a glue or something?
I know what that is. Yeah,
that's what Dom said in the.
What?
So there was all that series. So then there was a federal investigation which found that the CIA didn't do anything. Oh no, the CIA did a report. So this is all above board. This is. Let's have some of the highlights from this. According to the report, the Inspector General's office examined all the information the agency had relating to CIA knowledge of drug trafficking allegations in regard to any person directly or indirectly involved in Contra activities. It also examined how CIA handled and responded to information regarding allegations of drug trafficking by people involved in Contra activities or support. The first volume of the report found no evidence that any past or present employee of the CIA or anyone acting on behalf of the CIA had any direct or indirect dealing with Ross, Blandon or Menendez. So there you go, lads.
Yeah.
CIA, clean bill of health. If you want to read a book about this, there's a book called Dark Alliance. So I assume the title alludes to the dark alliance between drug dealers and the CIA. Not that the CIA would do such a thing. I just can't see that they would.
No, perish the thought.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, do you think did the CIA actually have any? There's a film based on it. There's a film called Kill the Messenger from 2014, which is based on Dark Alliance and Nick Shue's biography of Webb.
Yeah, okay.
And there's also I think English has mentioned this one. Snowfall is an American crime drama television series set in Los Angeles in 1983. So that covers the time if you want to watch either of those two things. Yeah, I mean, how do you think the CIA works then? Either Fraser or Hobbit, or wants to talk about it. I mean, do you think they're running completely without any kind of oversight whatsoever now? Do you think they're a rogue agency within the government now?
Maybe the last time they did was like when Herbert Walker Bush Jr. Senior was the head, and then he became in the early 90s.
Senior was the head, wasn't he?
The president of the United States, and then it was they were saying like after that point the CIA was just like. Yeah, because that was the same time when crack cocaine was doing the rounds, wasn't it? So
let's have a look. H.W. Bush. H.W. Bush. Let's have a look at the Wikipedia. Oh, H.W. Bush. There was an error. There's an error showing that. Fucking CIA. They're all over me, lads.
Oh dear. And Hemi was last seen boarding a light aircraft.
Yeah, I'm off on the Cessna weekend.
Yeah.
So he was presidency. I'm trying to find his fucking president. He's had so many fucking jobs that you can't see his presidency. Vice president, 89 to 93 was he was president. So he was way after this then.
Why 89 to 93? Wasn't it like, I thought it was every even year there was a president.
No, the election, isn't it? And then they get sworn in on the January, don't they?
Right. Yeah, because didn't he follow Reagan when Reagan was just like, I want to do something about drugs?
He was Reagan's VP.
Yeah, and then like he said, "Oh, leave it with me," and then Reagan ends up in an assassination attempt. So.
Yeah, Reagan. He was vice president from 81 to 89, so he was basically almost in president. So he's almost at the top of power from 81 to 93, really. So yeah, I mean, do you think that? So you think they're a completely rogue? Do you think they do whatever to protect themselves then? Because a lot of people have said that, haven't they?
It's like they've got a business going. They're the market leaders in it. They don't like competition, and they're certainly not going to tolerate somebody wanting to. It's like that's their bread and butter.
Yeah, they've obviously. So when do you think they cement? How long's the CIA been around? Let's have a look.
Well,
1940s, right?
It was called the Office of Strategic Services before, and then it became the CIA. I think in 1945.
The OSS was it was like World War II, wasn't it? The OSS. So the central. Doesn't mean that. So formed September 18th, 1947. Preceding agency was the OSS. So it says the OSS. So the OSS was from June the 13th, 1942. That's weird. There's a 5-year gap. Makes you wonder what the OSS was doing in that 5 years, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, could be working on a nuclear.
I love the way if you look at CIA controversies on Wikipedia, it sends you to another page, See also human rights violations by the CIA, allegations of CIA drug trafficking, CIA
Allegedly.
influence on public opinion, Project Mockingbird,
Allegedly.
extraordinary rendition, assassination of Orlando Letelier, Cubana de Aviación Flight 455, and Operation Condor.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Allegations of CIA drug trafficking. Let's have a look at this then. Illegal labs producing heroin were first discovered near Marseille in France in 1937. These labs were run by Corsican gang leader Paul Carboni. For years, the Corsican underworld had been involved in the manufacturing and trafficking of heroin, primarily to the United States. It was this heroin network which eventually became known as the French Connection. The Corsican gang was protected by the CIA and the SDECE. Do you know what that is? Is that the French Special Secret Service or something? Yes, so it was the French CIA. After World War II, in exchange for working to prevent French communists from bringing the old port of Marseille under their control. It's always. Have you noticed? It's always. Oh no, we gotta stop the Frycoms. You don't understand. We've got to keep the heroin going because we've got to stop the Frycoms.
What, the French communists?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, because they had to. The Corsican gang was protected by the CIA. They had to protect the Corsican gang after World War II,
obviously,
in exchange for working to prevent the French communists. Thank God, democracy saved. They could carry on creating heroin.
Fucking love democracy.
Fucking democracy. How does that work? Just imagine how bad things would be if they'd have shut down that Corsican gang, and the Frycoms had taken over the old port of Marseille. Hobbit.
Well,
France would
God,
be fucked, wouldn't it? Absolutely fucked.
Thank God the CIA were there to make sure that didn't happen.
Keeping democracy free, liberté, fraternité, égalité.
Heroinité.
Heroinité. Oh, fucking hell.
So here we go. So then there was Vietnam, which we've covered. It's just the more you read about the CIA, the more you just go, don't you, the more you read about them.
As opposed to, what have they done? What have they done now?
Yeah, you don't exactly want to stand up with your heart over your chest singing the Star Spangled Banner when you see what they get up to, do you?
Oh, that's terrorists that talk, that is.
Several journalists, well, we know what journalists are like, state that the CIA used...
Fucking love journalists.
Mina Intermountain Municipal Airport in Arkansas.
Also known as Arkansas.
To smuggle weapons and ammunition to the Contras in Nicaragua. And drugs back to the United States. How preposterous.
Well, the funny thing about this, and it may feature in other things, is do you remember something called Operation Fast and Furious, also known as Operation
Have you heard some theories, obviously fucking Looney Tunes, swivel-eyed conspiracy theorists, have claimed the involvement of political figures Oliver North and George H.W. Bush, and then Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton. Look at
also
this.
known as Arkansas.
Swivel-eyed conspiracy theorists. As if those three people would be involved in something shady. Not old fucking Slick Willie.
I didn't snort that heroin.
God, we need Mariana Spring to give this one the once over.
Yeah, Mariana Spring, hit me up when you're feeling horny.
Yeah. You can have some
I'll
Netflix
tell
and
you.
chill with. Are you going to have some YouTube and chill with her, or is it going to be Rumble and chill?
I was going to say it'll be some bit shoot and chill whilst I. But come on, come on, bitch! This is what your Brigade 77 chums are up to. Let's have a look at
it. Jeff K. I don't know why Dom's written Jeff K instead of JFK, was assassinated because he tried to put the stop to the CIA.
To me, Hobbit.
And then I'm
going to force feed you distilled water to purge all the vaccines out your body. Oh yeah, I love it when you say that.
She'd fucking love it, wouldn't she? She'd be like putty in your hands a bit.
Shove ivermectin up where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, and then Nicaragua, like you two snorting ivermectin off of the back of your Alex Jones t-shirt, I bet.
Oh yes, the info wars, because knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half
the other half.
That is correct. Why is
the other half is violence?
Is the other half being sued by
No, the other half is violence. Okay. Extreme amounts of violence.
Jumping up and down on a car when the lights go out.
I was quoting from Beavis and Butthead, where they go to the army. It's like, no, we primarily use violence to kill the enemy. Kill them with kindness. No, kill them with guns. Sometimes explosives.
Oh, this stuff is just preposterous. In October 2013, an American television network alleged that CIA operatives were involved in the kidnapping and murder of a DEA covert agent. What? Preposterous.
Oh no, it's terrible, isn't it?
Enrique Camarena. Camarena. Hey, Camarena. Because he was a threat to the agency's drug operations in Mexico in the 80s. The CIA dealing drugs in Mexico in the 1980s? Preposterous.
What, doing the jobs the lazy Mexicans won't do?
Preposterous. And according to all three alleged sources, and we know what alleged means, not really, doesn't it? The CIA was collaborating with drug traffickers bringing cocaine and marijuana into the United States and using its share of the profits to finance Contra rebels attempting to overthrow Nicaragua's leftist Sandinista government.
Marijuana?
Jumpstart the second Big Bang?
Marijuana? In my United States of America.
Yeah, I thought this was Murica.
Murica? Fuck yeah.
Honduras. So the Honduran drug lord Juan Mata Ballesteros. That one very good.
Oh, Ballesteros. Oh, miso Ballesteros.
Was the owner of Setco, an airline which Nicaraguan Contras used to covertly transport military supplies and personnel in the 1980s. Writers such as Peter Dale Scott and Jonathan Marshall have suggested that the US government's desire to conceal or protect these clandestine shipments led it close to the DEA office in Honduras when an investigation began into Setco, allowing Mata Ballesteros to continue and expand his traffic. Preposterous. Just all obfuscation, lies, swivel-eyed conspiracy theory, this, isn't it, I bet?
It's poppycock.
The CIA doing drug trading in Venezuela? Preposterous.
What? The Venezuelans can't do it?
Yeah. In 1990, a failed CIA anti-drug operation in Venezuela resulted in at least a ton of cocaine being smuggled into the United States and sold on the streets.
You know, I'm not going to say because the thing is,
there you are trying to do an anti-drug operation. Whoopsie, and then a ton of cocaine sold on the streets. Oopsie.
Whoopsie dipsies, mistakes were made. Moving on. You know, the thing is, eventually, because of the CIA and their insatiable desire for cocaine, would lead to the rise of Pablo Escobar.
To be fair, they did go a bit emo. Because then they got into into heroin, didn't they?
Oh well, you know, that's when Pablo Escobar went dead. But I'm pretty sure
then obviously
Pablo
this is the last one. So the last one is Afghanistan, which we've spoken about already. So
yes, Afghanistan.
As you were saying, a bit.
That's the joke. Well, I was thinking Pablo Escobar. Surely there's some sort of connection to God's banker. I love that drop. Yeah. God's banker, eh? What about that? Yeah.
What about God's banker?
Well, I just, I heard God's banker.
I mean, the amount of fucking money that was being thrown around and laundered. I mean, you had there was mafia money being laundered as well. It's not a huge stretch to link all these things together, is it?
No, no.
But I'm pretty sure a priest called the Gorilla would have absolutely nothing to do with it.
You know, it's weird. I can't even remember what, apart from being really big.
Yeah.
I can't really remember what the gorilla did. Well, I mean, he was bodyguard, but
he was clever enough to stay far enough out of it, wasn't he? He did that thing when God's Banker.
Mm.
When God's Banker said to him, he said, yeah, all that money we lent. He said, all that money we lent the Polish. Can we have that back? And he said, LOL. The best I can do is promise it you, but not give it you.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
and
best I can do is thoughts and prayers, pal.
Yeah.
Best I can do is pray to God for it to come back.
Yeah. It's like, well, look, those Polish toilet chucks have got to be paid somehow.
So I think, are we? You got any more you want to add on to this?
Not really.
I think if you do this properly, I think you'd be doing it for weeks because there were just so many fucking. It's just like they're just rot, aren't they? It just needs killing with fire, doesn't it? The CIA. There is no way of reforming it, is there?
The important thing is thanks to the CIA, we've now got House of Candy allegedly on 10 Oxford Street. Actually, let me just have a look. What is on Oxford Street at the moment? Oh, my middle mouse button doesn't work. I keep forgetting about that. Right, so let's have a look. No, it's physically broken. The scroll wheel still works. Oh, no, that's Oxford. I want Oxford Street. So let's have a look at Oxford Street, shall we? Oxford.
Allegedly there.
What is allegedly on Oxford Street at the moment. Oh, did you know Oxford Street's in Oxford? How about Oxford Street, London, UK?
How about the biggest fucking Oxford Street on record?
Yes. So, what have we got on Oxford Street? What's that number? What if I type in 10 Oxford Street? What is that number? 10 Oxford Street. 10 Oxford Street, London, UK. Oh yeah, there it is. It's a block of flats. Oh. Well, I bet there's like drug dealing going on there, or maybe it's prostitutes.
Why don't you just put Candy Shop, Oxford Street?
Oh, I'm looking at the door on 10 Oxford Street, and it's got like metal shutters and findings. You know when it's got reinforced.
That on Oxford Street of all places.
Well, it seems very strange, doesn't it? It's almost as if they don't trust the sort of people one would find on Oxford Street. But if I just go back to Oxford Street itself. Wait, that's 10 Burden Street. I said Oxford Street, you dickhead. I mean, it's near. It's like you got Hanover Square. So if I just go Oxford Street in the middle, like so, and we got like a crossroads. And we've got H&M one side. We've got the Microsoft store on one side. Wow, okay.
The Microsoft store.
The Nike store.
Because Fraser will go in there and do a terrorism if you
hello.
The way he's feeling about the Xbox at the minute.
Hello, Microsoft store. I am... if you please to be donating me the Apple gift cards, do not redeem.
Now then, hey, Fraser.
No, they just had that fucking business update. It's just, I'm kind of mixed on it. It sounds like PR bunk. Like, yeah. Anyway,
do you think it was one of those things where they float the idea to see what the reception's going to be?
Maybe, and that, yeah. Honestly, I do think they did. Yeah, because
I'm looking at the.
I think they've walked it back a little bit, but they still haven't like gone. You know.
Yeah. I bet. What have you found, Candy? Have you found the?
There's a kiosk there called Sweet Touch, and they're selling vapes, they're selling chocolates and crisps, and they're brand people in there. They're very brand.
Yeah.
We got Angus steakhouses or steakhouses, a currency. Yeah, Steak, also known as Arkansas, a currency exchange.
Yeah.
A cash machine, which has definitely not been interfered with.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the cash machine in our town, someone's been drawing all over it. Why would they do that? Calzonia, whatever that is.
Calzonia, that'll be pizza joint. Because that's...
Yeah, it looks like it.
Folded over pizza.
Intimissimissimi, the art of Italy, which is... And then it's saying Calzonia next to it, so I assume that's something to do with calzones. I've come back to the Microsoft store. Have I gone full circle? No, I can't. Well, they do call it the Oxford Circus.
Apparently 613 Oxford Street is a brothel.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
243 says, anyone hear of the Oxford Clogger? Your reputation precedes you, Hobbit.
I can neither confirm nor deny these alleged allegations. We got phone accessories, Libara, gift gaff, luggage and souvenirs, 50% discount on selected items, more luggage downstairs.
Ooh.
Regent Hall, Church Cafe Events Club. Yeah, probably. I'm looking for some luggage. Oh yeah, you're looking for luggage, are you?
Yeah.
The Foot Locker seems to be some sort of clothing boutique. Gifts and luggage.
Boutique, fucking hell.
Yeah. Run London, which has New Balance, and it's got some black joggers on the posters in it.
New Balance is racist, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a place here called EEBT, and it says phones 2 hour repaired. Looks really legitimate. Switch to EE, £13 for 5 GB data. McDonald's. We've got a McDonald's. What else do we have on this lunch? We got more brand people. We got a sushi and bento. So far, I haven't seen American candy shops. Where are these American candy shops? Well, this is from April 2023. I'm looking at. Oh, I'd have been in London this time, but I wouldn't have been in Oxford Street. We got something London, but Google decided that whatever the first part of that name is to be censored. Oh, Mina London. Don't you like it when you go up close to a place and it decides to blur up the sign, but then you go slightly away from it and it unblurs?
Have you noticed, like, you put in American Candy Oxford Street, and it just and all the things are why is Central London suddenly full of American candy sheets? Life turns sour for Oxford Street's mysterious. Oh, what's this one? Life turns sour for Oxford Street's mysterious American candy stores. Westminster Council is calling time on the eyesores of Oxford Street, investigating 30 American candy stores.
Oh yeah, well that's like the story today. Oh, well, here's one. We got a shop here called West Side. And I'll tell you what, I'll do 2 pictures, right? So first of all, I'll do West Side, and you can have a look at it, right? So we'll do that. And then, oh, look at this. This shopkeeper in West Side, he seems to be very, very busy, he is. Just looking at the Google Street View.
So the investigation actually tells a deeper story about the malaise that has struck a hugely important and influential shopping street, and how landlords and unscrupulous businesses have attempted to play the UK's real estate. It's not. That's a yank term. Estate tax system. It also shows how far Oxford Street has fallen in recent times. In announcing its crackdown, Westminster City Council said it seized about $573,000 worth of counterfeit and illegal goods from American candy and souvenir stores in the past 6 months, including unsafe vapes. Oh, Councillor Adam Hugg again.
Yeah, see, it's the same story, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Alan Huck's been doing the news, has he?
So the issue relates to where the freeholder or long leaseholder would normally have to pay business rates on an empty store, but can pass them on to an occupier. The freeholder or long leaseholder allegedly lets to an intermediate company, who in turn lets to the candy stores, usually on licenses for minimal rents. Forming multiple limited companies, these operations...
Just wanted to interrupt you there to say that I really like the Johnny Cash song about the girl that works at the candy store.
Don't know that one.
Works at the candy store. Dada was her name so pretty. And Well,
so basically what it is, it's a trail of shell companies. Because it says, forming multiple limited companies, these operations become near impossible to trail.
Hmm. The song by Johnny Cash is called Candy Store, Ballad of a Teenage Queen. Ballad of a Teenage Queen, prettiest that you've ever seen.
So to try and reverse it, so basically they're saying that so they lost Topshop because that went under. Oh fuck, Marks and Spencer, Debenhams, House of Fraser, John Lewis is downsizing. This is why Oxford Street's fucked.
Wow.
While new players are coming in, such as IKEA, Adidas, and Sports Direct, the situation is becoming critical. What kind of absolute fucking insane person buys IKEA furniture from Oxford Street?
Yes, I'm just going to park in Oxford Street to go to IKEA.
Yeah.
In my Ford Transit van.
Yeah. To try and reverse the decline, Westminster.
Speaking of which, I just wanted to say, you know, there's that latest scam they're doing in London called the ULEZ zone.
Yeah.
Well, there's something called Transport for London website, and that's apparently the authoritative thing. Like, you go to TfL, right, and you put your reg plate of your car in.
Yeah.
So I did it for a diesel hatchback from 2002, and it says, your car is ULEZ exempt, you don't have to pay the ULEZ fee. And I was like, oh, I'm glad to know that my diesel from 2002 with no DPF filter on it passes the ULEZ emission requirements. So if I go there and I don't pay a fee, I'll be like, well, I've been on the TfL website and it says I'm exempt, so fuck you.
So there we go. Are we all done?
Yeah.
I think we are. Are we done?
I think so.
Do you want to do unexplained histories?
Should we leave it for a week?
Yeah. I mean, there's not really that much spooky that's been going on recently.
It's January. Ghosts don't come out in January, do they?
They're hibernating.
Yeah.
There's been some interesting stuff about done in Fortean Words Chat.
A couple more seconds. Webb was found dead in his Carmichael home on December the 10th, 2004, with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. So obviously, his death was ruled a suicide by the Sacramento County Coroner's Office.
Yeah, another 2 gunshots to the head, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Shot himself with a .38 revolver, which he placed near his right ear. The first shot went through his face and exited his left cheek. The coroner's staff concluded that his second shot hit an artery.
So the bit I wanted to mention, just briefly, King Charles the second, the third, he's got a spot of bother with a condition. I won't mention it on you. Oh, well, I wasn't going to mention it on YouTube because they get upset when you start talking about things. Now, according to himself, he wants to do alternative health practices, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that would include
young children.
Well, does it also include the work of Dr. Tullio Simoncini, an oncologist who found that actually what you can do instead of using chemotherapy drugs, you can inject sodium bicarbonate into a tumour, and that'll work just as well. He published a book called Cancer is a Fungus, which I have to say, because of medical stuff in YouTube, I disavow it, but I just find it interesting is all. That he would call a book Cancer is a Fungus. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I'm neither condoning nor condemning it. I just think it's interesting he does this thing and he says, yeah, the cure is sodium bicarbonate, which I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
All I can say is it's not approved on NICE, and NICE is the
conspiracy theorist, to be honest, Hobbit.
NICE is the National Institute of Clinical Excellence in the UK, which dictates. Yeah, NICE. it dictates what the NHS can and can't do with its patients, and therefore, I'm sure King Charles will be.
Your child will die in hospital.
Yeah, and you will not take it somewhere else where they're offered to do the treatment. Yeah, because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
So, if you are thinking of dying, ask the NHS first if that's acceptable.
Yeah, they might insist that you die in one of their hospitals.
Yes.
If you don't die in the hospital,
don't
they can't steal your organs, can they?
Yeah. Make sure to do loads of drugs before you die, so that your organs aren't worth harvesting.
Yes. Right. So is that us done?
Are you going to have to do the bit where you say "stay spooky"?
It's safe and effective. So remember, all vaccines are safe and effective. Stay spooky, and try not to get shot twice in the head. And remember, if you are going to commit suicide, don't shoot yourself twice in the head.
Yeah, it's suspicious, and it gets the conspiracy theorists yapping.
Yeah,
like.
So night all. Take a night.
Yeah. Okay.